Holocaust historian, saying this is a genocide. Why won't you say that?
Because I am concerned that that would somehow give credence to the very same people that think that there should be no Israel, and from the river to the sea, and the existence of a Jewish state, I don't support. Now, that linkage, I understand.
Yeah, I don't see that linkage. One's got nothing. You can have an argument about what should Israel look like, but are the acts being committed in Gaza, are they genocidal?
They are horrific.
But you won't say genocide? For the reason you outlined.
I'm going to stick with the words that I choose. And
no, I understand that. Of course you are. I'm just wondering, if you had never called anyone else a genocide, I would be fine. But I'm looking at it, I'm saying, oh, good. Senator Warner has called out what's happened. I've written it about the Rohingya. I'm glad the Senator Warner speaking about the Rohingya. But even the Rohingya would accept what has happened to them is no comparison compared to what's happened to the Palestinians in Gaza in terms of killing, displacement, humanitarian crisis. So we wonder why the genocide label is used here but not there. To turn your point about Sudan back against you, why are you willing to call it out elsewhere but not in Gaza?
Fair point. But I also think I do believe there are forces that have been that have taken the Israel conflict, which has gone on way too long, and use this as a tool for anti-Semitism. And I think we need to stand up against bias against all faiths. I would also point out, I hope you've seen as well, I think I'm the only senator since this conflict has started that's gone to the floor of the Senate and spoke at length against the rise of anti-Muslim feelings across our country and pushed back on that. I'm not even sure all of my colleagues who have been much more forward-leaning have gone publicly to the floor of the Senate.
That's great. I mean, there are different issues, but I'm glad you did that. Just one last question on this before we move on to election interference. On the subject of US support for Israel, one very contentious issue in your party in these recent primaries that you've been following has been AIPAC. A lot of Democrats who've come on this show have said, you know what, we should stop taking money from AIPAC. We had a congressman from Oregon recently who came on, Congressman Dexter, who said, I used to take money, I'm not going to take it anymore. It's toxic. You've taken a lot of money from AIPAC. Some say more than most other Senate Democrats, according to Open Secret, something like $600,000 from AIPAC, $880,000 from wider pro-Israel groups. Tell our viewers why you take that money and why they shouldn't assume, as many do, that that money affects your votes and your position on Israel. When they're watching at home, they'll say, that's why Mark Warner won't say genocide.
The one thing that I have felt through my whole career, governor, senator, is people hire me and then I'm going to do what I think is right. And I frankly resent accusations that somehow people who give money, no one's going to buy my vote. They can fire me. That is their right. And
but everyone in politics makes those accusations.
But hold on. I also take money from many Muslim American groups.